4:40 in the afternoon at the Strait of Hormuz. Take a slow breath and picture that narrow 3.9-mile stretch of water glowing under the heavy glare of the setting sun. The men hiding in command bunkers in Tehran and their allied outposts looked at that afternoon glare and thought they had found a cheat code to beat the ultimate superpower. They thought the glaring light bouncing off the ocean would blind American infrared sensors and target them. They truly believed they were about to write the most glorious chapter of military history and sink the mighty United States ship Enterprise, a $1.3 billion supercarrier, to the bottom of the boat. Instead, they were blindly planning the most spectacular collective suicide note the world has ever seen. They named their grand plan Operation Shattered Horizon. It sounds like something out of a blockbuster movie, but in reality, it was just an obituary written by sheer rage. They pushed their outdated machines out of hidden mountain silos and coastal bunkers. We are talking about 85 Sacker 3 medium-range ballistic missiles, 120 Theta-2 supersonic anti-ship cruise missiles, and a massive, buzzing swarm of 215 Aegis 5 kamikaze drones. 420 targets in total. They figured if they threw enough metal and high explosives at the American all at once, the armored mammoth would eventually come. Their field commanders were probably popping open cells of dreaming of blowing up the 45 War prices rocketing to $500 a barrel, and American forces running away in total humiliation. They thought they were playing a brilliant game of chess. They forgot they were using moves from the 1980s against a military civilization operating on quantum computing and orbital supremacy from the year 2026. Here is the brutal truth that their outdated exact millisecond the very first signature led out of the countdown for their entire reason. America does not panic, and America certainly does not wait for you to strike first. High up in the cold, eternal darkness of space, the next generation persistent infrared satellite network of the United States Space Force is watching. Those sensors are so insanely sensitive that they spot the across the continent. It took exactly 1.5 seconds for the Space Command sensors in Colorado and Maryland to lock onto the deep ocean. 1.5 seconds. While the enemy missiles were still fighting their way through the lower atmosphere, the artificial intelligence algorithms known as Vanguard 9 had already mapped every trajectory, speed, and final impact zone. The enemy thought they were pulling off a stealthy ambush in the afternoon night. In reality, they were standing completely naked under the blinding floodlights of an orbital impact. All the tracking data was instantly beamed straight into the combat direction center of the United States ship Enterprise. If you stepped inside that room, you would not hear anyone screaming or bracing for impact. You would just hear the quiet, terrifying clicking of keyboards. For the American outlaws, this was never a desperate fight for survival. It was just a massive data processing chore, and the final answer was always one of zero annihilation. The carrier was surrounded by its floating fortress. All perfectly synchronized by the Aegis Baseline system. This system is not just a piece of it is a digital map of the universe as a conductor of symphony of absolute destruction. The huge AN Spy-6 radar arrays pulsed with electromagnetic energy 30 times more powerful than anything built before. It did not just see the enemy missiles. It saw the tiny cracks in their cheap steel casings. It categorized those 420 incoming threats not as a terrifying apocalypse, but as a minor clutter of flying garbage that needed to be cleaned up. And then the afternoon sky cracked wide open. Dozens of brilliant white smoke trails screamed up from the American launch tubes. Up at the edge of space, the Standard Missile 3 Block II interceptors hunted down the 85 ballistic missiles. These American interceptors do not even carry explosives. They do not need them. They use kinetic kill vehicles, smashing into the enemy warheads at tens of thousands of miles an hour. Imagine two bullet trains colliding head-on. The pride of the coalition was instantly vaporized into cosmic dust before it even began its descent. Down closer to the water, The 120 supersonic cruise missiles were trying to skim the waves and hide in the solar glare. But American radar does not care about the sun. The Standard Missile 6 interceptors twisted like high-tech pythons, actively hunting down every single target. Boom after boom echoed across the water, turning 120 hopes of global dominance into humiliating pillars of black smoke plunging into the sea. It was a completely flawless purge. No gaps, no lucky breaks for the bad guys. Then came the swarm. 215 kamikaze drones buzzing toward the fleet, designed to slip through the cracks of exhausted defenses. But there were no cracks. As they crossed the 20-mile line, they flew straight into the invisible side of the Helios high-energy laser systems.
Our ultimate goal,
there were no loud bangs or movie-style laser beams, just silent, concentrated photon beams traveling at the speed of light, instantly cooking the cheap plastic and frying the circuits of the drones. They tumbled out of the sky like dead insects. For the few that managed to slip past the silent light, the phalanx close-in weapon systems were waiting to chew them apart with 4,500 rounds of molten tungsten every single minute. In less than 4 minutes, the entire enemy strike package, 420 weapons that took billions of dollars to build, was turned into a floating trash pile. 0 American casualties, 0 scratches on the hull. But the United States military operates on one very simple, very terrifying rule. You never, ever get a second chance after you take a swing at the king. At 4:50 in the afternoon, while the enemy radar operators were still furiously scanning their screens trying to figure out why all the missiles had suddenly disappeared, Operation Scorched Sunset was triggered. This was not a proportional slap on the wrist. This was the systematic, surgical removal of an entire nation and Apple's ability to wage war. The flight deck of the Enterprise turned into a warring beast. 48 F-35C Lightning IIs and Super Hornets catapulted into the darkening sky, absolutely loaded with Stormbreaker smart bombs and anti-radiation missiles. Far above them, operating like ghosts in the stratosphere, 3 B-21 Raider strategic bombers had already been loitering over enemy territory, completely untouched by radar. They dropped 72 long-range stealth cruise missiles. Down below the dark waters of the Gulf, the vertical launch tubes of 6 Virginia-class nuclear attack submarines snapped open, spitting 250 Tomahawk Block 5 cruise missiles out of the sea. The enemy threw 420 pathetic missiles at a floating fortress. America answered with a biblical firestorm of 2,800 precision-guided weapons. The sky rained pure technological fury. American electronic warfare jets completely blinded whatever defenses the coalition had left, leaving them totally helpless. The stealth fighters slipped deep into the heart of the enemy homeland, dropping bombs directly onto their most prized strategic missile research centers, carbon fiber laboratories, and military assembly lines. America was not just breaking their toys. America was permanently destroying their ability to ever build those toys again. The grand finale was delivered by the massive B-52 bombers. They blanketed 12 logistics airfields and 8 strategic oil refineries with hundreds of GPS-guided bombs. The explosions were so violently massive that seismographs miles away recorded the shockwaves as a 4.5 magnitude earthquake. The entire landscape was painted in raging fire. Over 5,000 of their most elite military personnel were wiped out. 24 major military bases and 65 supporting facilities were effectively erased from the surface of the Earth. By 5:25 in the evening, exactly 45 minutes after the first coalition missile left its silo, the slaughter was over. 45 minutes. Less time than it takes to watch an episode of television, and a military empire that took 50 years to build was crushed into fine powder. It was the most brutal, flawless display of technological dominance the modern world has ever witnessed. They wanted a dramatic new world order, and they got one. They learned that the gap between a loud regional power and the American superpower is not just a matter of size. It is a matter of absolute, unyielding annihilation. You can try to poke the American empire in the eye, but you will not live long enough to see it blink.